All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get started with today's webinar. We do these once a month here for our Masters of Entrepreneurship program here at CU Denver at the Jake Jobs Center for Entrepreneurship. Today's webinar is going to be focusing on a few of our wonderful students who are in the program, who are going to be serving as ambassadors for you all, sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, sharing insights into the program, answering some of my hard questions about the program, and basically giving you all an insight into what it's like to be a Masters of Entrepreneurship student here at CU Denver. And what their thoughts are overall on the program and why they think that you all out there should apply for it and why you all should participate in it. I'm going to jumpstart into the outline and give them introductions here shortly. We're also going to share information about the courses that we offer, the application, upcoming deadlines, important information, tuition, scholarships, all the essential information that you would need to decide if this is the right program for you. I will also open the door at the end to answer any questions that you all have. Before I do that, though, I would just ask that you all kindly keep the mics on mute, keep the cameras off. This will be a little bit more of a passive experience here until the end. We'll open everything up for questions by the end of the webinar. With that, I want to jump into our outline for today. So we're going to talk a bit about the Jake Jobs Center for Entrepreneurship, what makes it special and unique here at CU Denver, as well as what makes CU Denver unique. We're going to talk to our student ambassadors, hear their thoughts on our program, any challenges, any successes that they've had, what they recommend for you all. We're going to go through the program structure and a bit about the curriculum so that you have a bit of an idea of what to anticipate. What are entrepreneurship certificates and how those differentiate from the overall MS Entrepreneurship program, how they also are aligned with it, the goals of the program, what we talk about or what we mean when we talk about experiential learning, the networking and mentorship opportunities available to students within the program. As I noted, our tuition, our scholarships, our application, a few additional student testimonials, and then we will open the door to Q&A. With that, I want to introduce you all to our student ambassadors for today's webinar. Magdiel Castillo is going to be graduating in 2025. He has participated in our pitch competition and a number of our other competitions, full of ideas, full of insights, full of energy, really, really great student within our program, as well as Tuneishia Harris, who has been with us since, I believe, last spring, and has already made a huge impact on the program, working with prospective students, excelling in her classes, and learning how to really take advantage of this program as she builds out her own business. So I want to invite Mag and Tuneishia, if you guys are there, go ahead and come off mute, come on camera, and introduce yourselves. Hi, guys.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. But see, so I'll go first. But yeah, I mean, you already gave me a super awesome interview. Introduction. So I appreciate that. But as you mentioned, I'm here doing the Masters in Entrepreneurship program and projected to finish after one more semester after this one. So super excited.
Amazing. Tell us, Mag, before I throw it to you, Tuneishia, tell us, Mag, what made you want to do the MS Entrepreneurship program, and what was ultimately the reason for you to apply for it and enroll?
Yeah, well, I had already started my first business. I was doing catering, and I had been doing that for like 3 years when I kind of had to like come to the decision of what I was going to do, and I decided to go back to school. And my first option was to go get just a regular MBA, business administration, and I did that for one semester. And in the process, I met the people from the entrepreneurship program, and I because it's all in the same building and stuff. So accidentally I ran into this program. I had no idea it was around, but it just made a lot more sense for me, for what I do and what I'm already doing and what I'm looking to apply it for afterwards. It just really made much more sense. And it's just I love the format of it. It's much better, you know, as far as the 10 class, no prerequisite. I know you're gonna get into all that, but I feel like it makes a lot more sense for the type of person that I am, you know, and I am an entrepreneur because, you know, I like to not tend to do things my own way, but you know, I like to kind of choose my own path. And I feel
Sure.
like it's really what the entrepreneurship degree lets you do in this one. You know, it's like, okay, if you know you're not gonna spend a lot of your time doing the accounting side, and I could hire an accountant and I want to sharpen my skills in this end, then for sure. Or and vice versa. If I know I'm not that good at accounting and I really want to get a lot of that work in, you know what I mean? So it really lets you tailor it to how you need it, how it will benefit you better.
Perfect. All good reasons. And yes, we will get into many details. So thank you so much. Tanisha, tell us a bit about yourself and what made you enroll in the Masters of Entrepreneurship program.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for the beautiful introduction, Brian. Really appreciate that. What started me in this program was I was graduating, getting my undergrad, and the introduction came from someone else from the community work um, that I'm a part of. And the conversation it had to do with public speaking and just finding other opportunities to work within community and network. And so I mentioned, hey, I'm graduating. I'm looking for a master's program possibly. And Claire, which is Brian's counterpart, was like, hey, we have a program here. And I was like, really? So as she was telling me, I was like, well, I'm really interested. How do I enroll? It was kind of, again, kind of how Mag said, it wasn't necessarily CU Denver. It was something that I was thinking like, hey, I want to continue the education. And I am grateful that I said yes. Everything just aligned. And as an entrepreneur myself, this falls in alignment with the work that I'm doing. I work in community. I have an organization, All That I Am, that's working with young Black girls in the community to empower them through STEAM and hosting retreats with them. And so this is just giving me a lot of information to help build upon what I already have, to unlearn what no longer serves me, and to network. So I've met people like Max, who's awesome, and I hope you all will stay connected with him. He does a lot of great work. He'll be able to tell you more about his stuff, but he's a really dope guy.
Very,
That's my
very, very cool guy. I agree. And I'm so glad that the both of you found this program because I think it's been a great fit for you guys. And I think for any of you out there looking for kind of that next step from a career development standpoint, from a experiential education standpoint to really kind of kickstart the next phase of your career, it could work for you as well. So let's dive in here. I want to share with you all just some information about CU Denver's business school. I won't get into too many of the facts and details here. One thing I just want to notate is from a diversity standpoint, this school is really, really focused on students from a wide spectrum of backgrounds. A lot of first generation college students attend CU Denver, active duty military, international students, students of color. We are here to open the doors to a number of students around the world to give them an opportunity for a high quality education within a major business and media market. We are one of the strongest economies here in the US to start businesses, to start small businesses, as well as one of the best places to live from simply a work balance, life balance standpoint. I'm curious, Tanisha, I'll turn to you first. The location of CU Denver's business school, we're right in the heart of downtown Denver. How have you found that this helps to set our program apart in terms of opportunities, in terms of any sort of networking? Share any sort of experiences that you've had just based on the fact that we're located right in the heart of the city here.
Well, I think it's accessible to most individuals, whether you are driving in your own personal vehicle or you like public transportation, you can get to the campus very easily. What I also like is that there are other campuses surrounded. So you have the opportunity to network. You have the Tivoli that has a lot of different events and opportunities to network, but to just build up your community of students, of entrepreneurs, business owners, employers, to help you. If you're looking for a job, you have the opportunity to have these like heartfelt conversations with individuals without like all of that. I don't know, it's just like this corporate setting. You get to kind of be yourself and interview them. They get to talk to you. You get to know each other personally to make sure that it's a great fit. And then downtown is beautiful. So you have beautiful views like that. You know, when you're inside the building, you can look out and just see Denver. So I think that's also cool. There's restaurants. There's just different parts of downtown that you may not normally search for or are surrounded around, and then you have that opportunity to kind of get to know downtown Denver as well.
I love that. I think that's a great insight. Mag, what are your thoughts in terms of the location and how that sets it apart? I mean, we are the only university right in the business school right in the heart of downtown Denver. As Tuneishia said, we are associated on the larger campus with a few other schools, but how do you find that sets us apart?
Yeah, so definitely, there's already a lot of businesses nearby there. I believe, like the networking opportunities and that. But as I also mentioned last time, I like to also bring attention how it's its own thing, but also across the street is also the rest of the campus where you also get to, take advantage of all the actual college amenities as far as their gym, their library, all that. And then we're a little bit separated to where it's like in a business world, you know what I mean? Like you mentioned, we're right in the center of where there's like the super big skyscrapers and things like that. But yeah, I gotta say, like, I need to be a little bit better as far as going out afterwards and like the nightlife and things like that. I always think about that, like, man, there's already so many businesses here. I could just go network. In my business right now, I do entertainment business. I'm trying to get a lot more corporate gigs. So just for me, I thought about, part of my marketing plan, just go to all the surrounding business in the school, like, hey, I'm a student down the street. There's a service I offer. But I know, it just depends on what you're doing. But whatever you're doing, I know there's probably something nearby that could benefit your business in some way.
Well, that's excellent. All right. I want to share just a little bit of background for our listeners here. The Jake Jab Center for Entrepreneurship, where I'm in the heart of, you can see just over my left shoulder, the 39 Keys to Success, as written out by Jake Jabs, who is one of the greatest entrepreneurs in America, probably the greatest here in the state of Colorado. He in 2013, gave a $12 million gift to CU Denver to take what was known as the Bard Center and had been in existence since 1996 and update it into the Jake Jab Center for Entrepreneurship. This is an academic department, a resource center. We are here specifically to foster entrepreneurship at CU Denver. We develop relationships with local business leaders that are there to provide opportunities and support to entrepreneurship students. We offer events like the Climb, currently the Tech Up seminars, a number of other opportunities for students to have access to mentors, to entrepreneurs within the city of Denver, really actualize the business planning process, the pitching process, not just take classes, but really take the next step in your career, really put yourself into challenging positions where you receive hard feedback, where you receive insights, where you see positive reinforcement of what you're doing, but more than anything, that real world type of experience where you can see, am I actually taking steps forward as an entrepreneur? Am I being tested? Is this really the right path for me? And ultimately, the goal is by the end of this program, you have a business plan in place, you are comfortable pitching, you are comfortable networking, and you're comfortable really going out from a career standpoint, regardless what you do with your first idea, with your second idea, with your 100th idea, regardless what you do with your career, putting you in a position where you can think and act entrepreneurially. My contact information is listed here. My name is Brian Brinkman. As you probably have heard thus far in the presentation, I oversee recruitment and advising here for the Jake Jab Center for Entrepreneurship. I work with all students who come into the program and then work with them throughout the program to help make sure that their program is a success. I've been doing this for about a decade. I have a great passion for working with students who are going back to school. I think that working with students in the field of entrepreneurship gives you an opportunity for education in an active way that I find really, really exciting. All my information is listed here on the screen if you want to go ahead and take a quick snapshot of it. If you've received an email about specific application items or about our program, chances are it has come from me. I am here happy to answer any questions you have going forward. A quick overview of the program. It's a customizable 30 credit curriculum. So there's 10 courses. You choose any 10 courses that work with your larger goals. We offer courses in finance and accounting, visionary leadership and business development, mission-driven entrepreneurship, lean marketing, launching a startup, idea validation and concept development, legal and ethical issues within entrepreneurship, a whole wide range. The goal of this program is that you come out addressing any skill gaps you have and feeling like you can really present your ideas, be it in front of investors, be it in a corporate meeting, wherever it may be, you feel confident that you can go ahead and present ideas that are game-changing for your industry. As I noted as well, we have experiential events offered like the Climb, the Rep Bridges Venture Fund, which allows students to think like investors, mentorship opportunities with local entrepreneurs, internships for credit, a lot of ways for you to navigate a 10-course program that not only is just about the courses, but also about the experiences that go along with it and directly tie into what you're learning. 10 courses, any order that you choose. The method and the timing I will note, and we'll get into the specifics of this should you move forward with the application process. Some of our classes are offered online, some of them are offered in person. Really, we'll just work to make sure that we have a schedule for you that makes sense academically, passion-wise, as well as the practicality of we have a lot of young parents, a lot of full-time workers in this program. So we work with students as best as possible to make this program align with your life so that you're going through this program paced out the way that you want it to be. The program is stackable. Classes are offered online and in person. There are experiential opportunities. We have a dual degree option with information systems to add on additional coursework and add on additional specialization for you. We also have recently launched a dual degree with our MBA program. So there's a lot of different opportunities for you to work. Mag, I want to get a thought from you. How has the overall flexibility of the program affected you as a student, and what are your thoughts on online versus in-person classes?
Well, as I mentioned, the flexibility of it was really like a driving factor. And the second question was as far as the online and the in-person.
Yeah, how do you find those working for you?
I think that definitely there's obviously, benefits in both. I think that there's just, comes down to what kind of person you are, I think. But I will say, so I thought, I prefer in-person classes. But also this semester, I'm trying out they're kind of shorter online, and I'm kind of getting done a little bit faster. And I'm actually appreciating that a little bit as well, because again, due to the flexibility where I envisioned before our conversations where that maybe I'll finish after summer or something like that, to where now I think how we're looking at it is after one semester. So it just depends on your goals. There's also, I guess, benefit in sticking around longer and, being able to participate more in the Climb and all the extra stuff that they do offer. So really it just comes down to it. There's definitely value to both of them. But I can't, really complain either way. When we were in person, they were great classes. Right now I'm in the middle of the semester online, and, it's been good so far. So yeah, I think that would just really come down to, a personal preference, whatever the people are kind of more used to or more effective for them.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I appreciate that. Yeah, that whatever is more effective for you as an individual student, that's the overall goal in terms of the classes that we offer and the style that we offer them in. Tuneishia, any thoughts that you have just in terms of the flexibility of the program, how that's impacted you, your thoughts on online versus in-person classes?
Yeah, it's a personal preference. Whichever way is better for you to learn. Personally, I like the in-person classes as well, but because of my schedule, the online works better for me to actually be able to be engaged the way that I need to. For in-person, it is just being surrounded around the energies and getting to really know your peers that are in the class and the different perspectives. Online, you're more doing a discussion type of conversation versus in person, where you get to look at them, you get to hear the influxes in their voices, just, and then talking to the professor directly. If you have any questions, you have that access to them right there, tangible. So it depends on what works better for you, but I think there is a beauty in having the option to be in person. So maybe one semester you're like, look, I need that in person, but as the winter comes, I would prefer online because, my fear of driving or whatever that may be, or with kids and fall breaks and winter breaks. So yeah, it gives you that flexibility. But I really appreciate the structure of everything.
I appreciate you saying that. I mean, I think that's one thing to keep in mind. If you're sitting here wondering, how would I make this work? How would I fit this into my schedule? I think that is the number one thing that people think about when they think about going back to grad school. Grad school is not for everyone. For a lot of people, they finish, their education, be it at the high school or undergraduate level, and they say, okay, I'm ready to go work. I don't want anyone to ever put a book in front of me again to learn from. But for other people like us, the drive to learn more is kind of always there. It's just nestled under the surface, and sometimes it takes organization and it takes motivation to really get to that point where you are in position to go back to school. But I think the challenge for so long with graduate school is it needed and does it fit my life? And I think, as you're noting, Tuneishia, as you're noting, Mag, the ability for students to decide, how do I take classes? When do I take classes? Can this fit with my upcoming schedule? We offer classes in 8-week increments. We offer classes, like we said, online as well as in person, which puts you in a position where you can say, okay, for these 8 weeks, I don't have as much going on. No kids are in sports. Everything's kind of taken care of there. It's a little bit quieter at work. So I'm going to pile on 2 classes here and really focus on them for the next couple of weeks. And then the next term, I got a lot going on. Christmas is coming up. My kid always has a pageant. My significant other is always busy at work, whatever it may be. I'm only taking 1 class, and that class is going to be online. Wherever you're at in life, we try to make that work as best as possible. And the fact that there's no prerequisites means that as you go through the program, you can really decide this on an 8-week by 8-week standpoint. One other thing I want to highlight here. We offer a certificate for our entrepreneurship program. So this is a master's level certificate. This is a great opportunity for students to try out the Masters of Entrepreneurship program before actually enrolling in it. And then if you decide that the program is right for you, all these classes can be folded in. If you decide that the certificate is all that you're looking for, that's totally fine, because the certificate will allow you to address skill gaps. So 3 courses equals 1 certificate. Even students in the Masters of Entrepreneurship program receive a certificate. These can be earned at the undergraduate and graduate level. Like I said, this emphasizes trialability, and this allows electives to expand the program and provide avenues for students to focus on what they want to study. The goal in all aspects of our entrepreneurship program is to make this accessible and available for as many students as possible. In terms of curriculum, 10 courses across 30 credits. I will say that a couple more times before this is out, but I just want that to be hammered in. This is a shorter degree than what you would see with an MBA. We really try to get to what are the essential items that you need to learn to complete this program. Classes like concept development and business model development and planning, high impact sales, leadership in new ventures, corporate entrepreneurship, study abroad options for credit in both Cuba and Barcelona. Again, no prerequisites. At no point during the degree planning process will I say to you, you cannot take that class until you've taken this class. One anecdote our program chair MP always likes to share is the idea of a seasoned businessman coming back to take our program to get the master's degree. And we say, hey, you have to take a marketing class before you take some other class. most people, as they move through their career, are going to have some experience, some expertise in some area. The last thing that you want is to hear a school say, hey, you have to take a class for credit, pay all this money so that you prove to us that you have you're an expert in an area that you already are an expert in. So we would take out prerequisites to make this all about your skill gaps and the goals that you are looking to learn. As we've been talking about here, this is designed for working professionals. It's self-paced. It's online plus hybrid plus in person. Internship options offering you the opportunity to really get work experience for credit. And the program completion is somewhere between 1 and 5 years. You can complete this program in 2 semesters if you really put your head down and do that. We have a couple students currently doing that. The longest you could do this program is 5 years. So that would be 1 class per term. Most students are in the 2 to 2.5 year time frame, but we don't put a limitation on either of those. Tuneishia, what are some of the favorite classes that you have taken so far in this program?
Lean marketing. The other was mission-driven entrepreneurship. And then AI and entrepreneurship is one of, I'm taking it now and I am really enjoying it already. So there's a multitude of different ones, but yeah, those are what stand out to me.
How did you find that those classes kind of, did you come in with a base level of understanding of those topics and it built upon that, or was this new information that you were learning, or a little bit of everything?
Yeah, well, and okay, I would say my ultimate favorite one was personal branding. So I don't want to leave that one out. That one just really stuck with me. And I found that based on what I am doing in my organization and what I'm building, these classes help me to unpack what I have, what is needed and what isn't. So what needs improvement. It helped me structure a little bit better, but also just gain insight from other individuals who have businesses as well. Personal branding just helps speak to the heart of the individual, of yourself, to understand who you are as a personal brand and why you do what you do. The voices, there is just a multitude of things in there, but these classes right here, mission-driven entrepreneurship, are your mission, vision, and values in alignment? Are you actually following through with what you say you're going to do? And what is the true concept of your business? So yeah, they're pretty amazing courses, amazing instructors as well, professors.
Awesome. I love that. That's so great. How about you, Mag? What are some of your favorite classes you've taken?
So same as Tuneishia, we had personal branding together, so that one was really good. And then so far I've also taken MP's class, which was just overall about business plan writing and every aspect of it. Honestly, I forget what is the name of MP's class. I'm sorry.
Business model development and planning.
Okay, there we go. I wasn't too far off. Yeah, and then just this semester, the one that just finished for me that I really liked was new business concept development.
Concept development, yeah, very good.
Yeah, that one was really good. Where we did feasibility analysis and stuff. And I would say I think all these classes, what I really appreciate is that they're very practical. You know what I mean? If you're already have a business or have a business in mind, these are all things that you're not just doing for a class. You know what I mean? For the business model class, as he mentioned, you come out with a business plan. And if you want to do it for your current business or for something you have in mind, same thing for the sales class. You write a sales playbook that you could tailor, all these things that you could go by the end of it, you're going to have your business plan, your marketing plan, your sales playbook, everything. Or you could do what I'm doing, which is maybe not the wisest, but I'm just playing around with ideas too. Because when I first started the program, I told MP, hey, I have this business, but I also have this other idea. And he told me something very good. He said, it doesn't cost any money to dream here. So go all out. So in the feasibility class, just for example, we came up, it was a group project, but it was my invention for a product. And I really like the product. I really think that it's got something in there. So I entered it in the business idea contest that actually is about to go down on Thursday. So I'm really excited about that. But just again, to show how it's practical, like that actually came from me from a class. And now hopefully I have a potential to win money from this idea. So like I said, that's what I really value from this class. I'm never looking at it like, yes, but when am I going to use this? You know what I mean? Where a lot of my undergrad and a lot of, normal education, a lot of it is that, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, all the classes have been very, very practical to me, which I appreciate.
So you
Love
get
it.
to apply the knowledge, right? It's applied, like, and you get to be like, oh, dang, like this is really cool. We both did the pitch, like the climb. We were both a part of that. Like I would just say, like, you have opportunity here to explore.
I think that for us, that is the goal is, everyone who comes into this program has a dream of, if not launching a business, having their ideas out there in the world in a way that matters. And we combine classes where you're learning the structure, you're learning the foundations of how you do this, but then you're not just walking away with a bunch of notes in a notebook and a bunch of tests that you've gotten good grades on because you studied and worked really hard. You're actually kind of being thrown out there in the world to say, hey, prove it to us that you know how to do this. And it's not necessarily us you're proving it to, it's yourself. And I think for both of you, I've seen massive amounts of growth in terms of the ability to, step out there and go beyond your comfort zone and take really challenging feedback and really critical, ideas. And hey, someone who has risen to the highest levels of success in the business world, hearing your idea and saying, okay, I like this about it, but I also need you to think about this, and this. And those are things that you may not have thought about because you're so close to the idea and it's such an emotional thing. You all are learning in the moment why it's so essential to have that kind of feedback and why it's so essential to take that type of, kind of pushback in a way and also test your own ideas in the real world, because that ultimately makes them stronger and it makes you stronger and it makes you better at what you do. So there's this really interesting meeting ground of, idealism and ideas and passion that also meets the harsh realities of the business world that you get to test out in real time here, which is great. So a couple of things that we think about when we built out this program, why students should enroll in this. There's a few reasons. I want to just list 5 that I think are most essential here. Exclusivity, I think, is really important here. We're the only MS in entrepreneurship in Colorado. We're the only MS in entrepreneurship along the Front Range here of the Rocky Mountains. I just got back from touring a bunch of universities throughout the Rocky Mountain West, and it was wild to talk to students who are business students approaching the end of their undergraduate studies, and putting students in a position and them realizing that there's an opportunity for them to take an entrepreneurship next step forward. It's something that they don't even think about because it's not offered by so many schools. Affordability. Our tuition rate is deliberately subsidized. We match in-state and out-of-state tuition as best as possible to make this as affordable as possible for students. And we also offer scholarships, putting students in a position where they can afford this program, where so many business degrees tend to be outside the range of what many students can afford. Flexibility, as we've talked about, classes being offered online, in person, hybrid. You build your own curriculum. All of this really translates to you as a student being able to be in charge of your own degree. The experiential nature, as we've been talking about here, and then the mindset shift. How do you create growth with minimal resources? Anyone who's ever started a startup knows you will not have all the resources, everything from pens to office space to internet speed to contacts to market capital where your business is really known and understood. All of that is out the window when you start a business. You are starting from scratch. And regardless if you ever launch a business, regardless if your business ever becomes a Fortune 500 company, regardless if you go back and work in the private sector because of the realities of the economy at some time or another, you will learn how to work with minimal resources, which is going to make you better because most companies want to operate as efficiently as possible, and you're learning how to do that. Speaking of the goals of the program, and I want to ask you two a question here about this, but there are 6 goals that we see for this program for students. We want you to cultivate an entrepreneurial mindset. We want you to learn how to communicate effectively. We want you to learn how to lead entrepreneurially, be mission driven, be giving back through what you do, capitalize on innovation, and go beyond just theory. This is why we don't cap the program at you did well in your classes, you did well on your tests. We want you to go beyond the theory and really test things out, even if it's challenging. Mag, starting with you, what do you think is one learning outcome that you've had thus far in the program? And what are any remaining goals that you have in the program?
One learning outcome. I think honestly, one that sticks out to me is the mission driven part, because I think naturally in both of us, me and Tuneishia are kind of in that, you a little bit more than me, but to me, because it hit me from surprise, like I naturally, I'm very involved with my culture and everything that I do outside of world. And I always said, I want to go learn the business. I always kind of saw it like a going out of what I do. You know what I mean? And it's funny for me to find, a lot of people in here, not just business. I thought that it would be strictly business, but I meet a lot of people with nonprofits and things like that, to where it kind of gets my mind going on things that, my plans and my ideas that I've had. And I'm like, well, maybe I could tie it all together. So actually, this is the first time that I see this, but it's really, you guys really are cultivating that, because it's, you meet a lot of people in the program, that have these business ideas that are more than just, try to get a lot of money out of it. And like I said, that is my natural instinct. But when I decided I'm gonna be a businessman, I almost felt like I'm going to the dark side. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? But I felt like it's a necessary, But as you guys know, a lot of my business ideas are tied back to how I could help my community and all that. So I love that, you guys do offer the mission driven entrepreneurship and all the other things. So that's something that sticks out to me. I wouldn't think that the school would really consider that, but it's super cool that, it's one of the main learning outcomes that you guys have in your mind.
I love that. I love that. Tuneishia, how about yourself?
I would say it's the same, recognizing that I didn't have a name to my nonprofit with working with the young girls, but I recognized doing the mission driven entrepreneurship class and like the lean marketing, that I do have a social enterprise, that there is a social impact of me pouring into these young girls so that they can come back and give back in a healthy, healed, and whole way. And so it just puts everything in perspective. So to be mission driven, to be able to communicate effectively, I think a lot of times we don't know how to articulate our words to communicate what we're doing or what we need. And so the learning outcome is to be able to communicate effectively, open and honestly, to say what it is that you need and what it is that you're doing. And then having the entrepreneurial mind, even if you didn't come from a family that were entrepreneurs or that are, it doesn't mean that you don't have that in you. We are all creative, and it's almost like we're tapping back into that inner child when we were visionaries, when we were dreamers, and saying, "Hey, I would really love to do this business. I don't care if it's creating socks." And then someone told you to think realistically because you can't make money. It is helping you understand that you give more service than you get paid for, and that the money will follow. But to go after that anyway, how will these socks impact the community in a beautiful way? That's that mission driven. And then you continuing to build upon it. Well, these are cool socks. And it also keeps the feet warm of those unhoused, or for those kids who don't have enough. So it's one of those as a learning outcome for me.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I think it's one thing that has really struck me about this program, as it's now, just over a year old, is the amount of students who are not just in it from a profit driven standpoint, but are in it because entrepreneurship is really here from a service standpoint, and understanding that the private sector can really put students in a position where they can they can achieve really monumental goals and of service and of giving back. And both of you embody that in a lot of ways. There's the you know, part of the reason why people why people start companies is because obviously there's an opportunity to, um, you know, further your own wealth and put yourself in a position where you're able to do better for yourself, you know, than you know one's parents may have, provide for your kids in a different way, whatever it may be. But there's also, as you're both noting, there's a service side of it where as a student and as a business leader, you can give back in ways that really mean a lot to you. So I appreciate you guys both sharing that. Um, Moving on, I want to talk a little bit about we've talked a bit about this idea of experiential learning. I want to share a little bit more thoughts on it because this is a really core element of this program. So experiential learning, this is the process of learning through experience and learning through reflection on doing. The idea here as a student is that you're not just learning theoretically, you're not just learning from a book, you're learning from the actual experience. We focus on testing out real ideas and getting real feedback for students from day one. The goal here is, like I've said before, putting yourself in a position where you're a bit uncomfortable, where you're really testing yourself out. It's really cool to watch entrepreneurs speak on YouTube or hear people talk on podcasts about all that they worked through and all that was challenging to them. And the first time they asked an investor for money and the first time that they got a yes answer. It's a lot harder and a lot different to do it yourself. And you guys have both learned that, I'm sure, multiple times. It looks cool. It feels really difficult at first. And then it gets sometimes easier, sometimes just as hard, sometimes harder. But the goal is practice and the goal is learning by doing. Networking is a huge way for you all to share who you are, what your goals are, what you're looking for, what you need, how you think you might be able to help someone else out, how you can tap into a market that may not be immediately obvious to you that this would benefit you or you would benefit it. Internships, you can gain credit through these. That's a process that you work through with me to ensure that we're able to get you the right internship for your skill set and your long-term goals, as well as competitions and student clubs like the Climb, the Rutbridge's Venture Fund. Tuneishia, I want to ask you, how has experiential learning impacted you as a student thus far? What is kind of the, I guess, most terrifying and successful moment you've had as a student here doing this all experientially?
What I would say is I have been stretched outside of my comfort zone with the fear. I'm doing it anyway. So for the Climb, there was like a speed dating climb event pitch night. And so I was absolutely terrified. But I did it anyway. So I went around to the tables and I shared my idea. And I just showed up authentically. There was no extra on it. I shared what my business idea was, and I came in third. And it was like there was this confidence that came that was like, you got something here, and you always had, but you had to do that thing that you were most afraid of sharing your ideas, your gifts and talents with someone, and to receive that feedback and being open to receive it, whether it was, you know what, thank you for sharing and you need to work on it a little bit more, or this is a really great idea and you still need to work on it more. It was that doing something you've never done in order to have something you've never had. And it was also networking because there was this, you know, conversation of, I would like to have coffee with you to learn more about your business and I would like to connect you. That's empowering, and it just brings another confidence. You gain mentorships. I've had lunch with individuals to have conversations to see what else is possible. So I think having the opportunity to be in these spaces that you wouldn't necessarily have, like the doors being open through this program, are not the norm in a lot of ways, which I feel like it should be. This should be the part where students get to say, hey, these are the spaces and places I want to show up, even if I didn't know I needed to have the mentor I didn't know I need, to have these fruitful conversations and relationships with individuals that I may not have that opportunity to meet before. So it's been beautiful. It's been positive. And I'm actually really, really grateful and thankful.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Mag, what are your thoughts?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What is kind of the most terrified and successful moment of experiential learning you've had in the program?
Well, definitely. So I participated in the climb pitch contest, and as Tanisha mentioned, there was different events leading up as far as the speed day. So you even in one event, there's a bunch of opportunities for you to get that experience. And yeah, no, I had a lot of fun doing it. I would say the way I could describe it is, I don't know the people on your background, but as an entrepreneur, like I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and so that means that it took out, what I mean, I've never been athletic, I've never been anything else, I was never part of any other team or chess club, math team, nothing like that. I was selling candy and stuff in school, so like I was really like entrepreneur. So like this is the first time where like I felt like I get to compete in something that was made for somebody like me, where entrepreneurs have a chance to like, oh, I get excited about something, get to practice for something, because yeah, like I said, I feel like a lot of, and a lot of entrepreneurs have different paths. You might have an interest in sports and then you build that into your business. But me, I'm a musician, I've always been into music and stuff. But even in that, I was never in the band or orchestra or nothing like that. So to me, it gave me an opportunity to, really be a part of something, one. And secondly, like you said, really try myself out. Cause I always, in my head, I always feel like I would be good at it. When you're watching Shark Tank and that, I really feel like that's, I think that that's my strength is, pitching a business and getting interest for it and things like that. But I never really knew. I had done one pitch contest before at the Small Business Development Center, and I made it to finalists there as well. But I hadn't gotten a chance to do it again, till 4 or 5 years later. And then now there's been so many opportunities. We did the climb, and then also during the summer they had the what was the tech up
Yeah.
seminars, tech up a thing that I was a part of. I got another chance to pitch a whole other business idea there. And then, as I mentioned, this Thursday they're doing a mini just climb idea contest, so I'm gonna get a chance to do it again. And to me, I want to do this as many times as I can, because as I said, one thing you guys will, especially we did in that personal branding class, you'll assess what you're good at, what I mean, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And I had to really look deep and understand, okay, like I don't think I'm the numbers guy in my business, so what is it that I bring? And to me, I feel like it's the ability to sell something, the ability to get people excited about what we're doing. So this gives me the opportunity to see if I could really, and as he said, even if I'm not there yet, it also give me a lot of feedback to how to improve, which is, vital. Every time I do one of these, I get new feedback that helps me get better for the next
Yeah.
ones. Definitely, I've learned a lot, and I've had, like I said, a lot of fun, because I never got into doing anything like this scholastically, at least.
Well, I think that's a really interesting way you put it, that like, the kind of ideal entrepreneurs are people that feel a little bit outside of the mainstream, and you mentioned, you were never in sports, you were never like in clubs, you were the kid selling candy at school, trying to make it, continue to go forward. And for you, this is kind of, as you noted, this is your sports, your ability to compete with other people and compete against other people, and and learn from them when things go right for you, don't go right for the other team, or vice versa. There's a lot of opportunities for collaboration here within the program, and it allows someone like yourself, who may not have found, but felt like you found your people, to found your people who are just as interested in you are, as looking at the way something is and saying, okay, but what if we shifted and look at it this way? What happens then? Is there a different way to go about this? And that is really the entrepreneurial mindset in a nutshell there. And the fact that you're able to be surrounded by those discussions has to be so illuminating and so exciting. So I appreciate you both being vulnerable, sharing your thoughts here. For everyone watching both right now as well as on the recorded versions when we send this out, none of this is easy. It's not really supposed to be, but it's also, can be a lot of fun, and there's a ton of learning that goes with this program. Quickly, I want to talk about, one of the experiential aspects that makes the program unique, which is our advisory council, as well as our mentorship opportunities. So we are aligned with some of the most recognizable entrepreneurs here in Colorado, people like Joel Apple, who founded OxyClean, Orange Glow, Kaboom, Zadie's Deli. Very, very delicious food if you are all here in Denver. Cannot recommend it enough. Karen Hertz, who is the chief barista and founder of Holiday Brewing. Sam Kumar, the CEO and founder of Cybersanic. Right there, you've got three very, very diverse entrepreneurs in terms of the products that they sell, in terms of the businesses that they run, puts you as a student in a position where you're able to get a ton of experience and a ton of insight. The advisory council members serve as mentors for MS entrepreneurship students. They also provide internships, networking opportunities. I will reinforce, just for anyone who's listening, who's thinking about the program, we're here to set up those opportunities to connect you with entrepreneurs, to put you in the position where you're able to really take the next step in your career. At the end of the day, and Tuneishia and Mag know this better than anyone, it is on you to make sure that those connections really lead to where you need them to lead to, be it getting the questions answered that you're looking for, asking difficult questions about what you're working on currently from a business development standpoint, asking to be introduced to further people that can put you in a position where you're able to further expand your overall network. So we will provide the opportunities, we'll provide the introductions. You as a student really want to take that upon yourself to make sure that you are taking the next step in your career. Really quickly, before I move on to the Business Career Center here, Mag, quickly, who is the most impactful person that you've talked to, and what did you talk with them about?
Oh man, that's actually hard. A lot of people, and like I said, starts with a professor. That first person comes to my mind is MP and Jung, but from these people, the outside mentors that they are, I don't know how outside they are. I believe Joel Apple also teaches, but Joel Apple, I loved hearing from him. I love his story, and like I said, I hope I have something of a similar, path to him, but his past really like it. I relate to it. You know what I mean? And he told me something I guess it's him too, because he told me I was trying to come up with my business plan for my energy drink or my health drink that I came up with. And I was coming up with the numbers and all kinds of ways to bring funding and things I've never dealt with before, because in my path as an entrepreneur, it's been funding it myself, take this amount of money, try to flip it for this. And I don't really have experience of like, okay, well, if I have an extra $100,000 loan and stuff like that. And so I was trying to go down that path. And I showed Joel, my financials for the drink. I'm like, hey, does this look normal to you? And he's like, well, where are you going to get that money? I'm like, I don't know. It's just what I felt like you should do. And he like looked at me, he's like, I started OxyClean with like $20,000, this and that. And I was like, exactly, like that's what I mean. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you get too wrapped up with business teachers that will tell you, no, to build this, you're gonna. And then sometimes you meet somebody like that that's like, no, dude, like this is what I did, this is how I did it, and he'll tell you like the whole story. Where I was like, okay, yes, like and I love learning from both of them. I like learning from people that had all the resources in the world, because sometimes I want to, play with the bank's money, so I want to learn how to do that as well. But for somebody that comes from, my background of, working in kitchens and then starting my own catering business, selling enchiladas and tacos and stuff, and now DJing weddings, I only know the world of, okay, I have this money, how much can I make out of this, and how much can we flip that? So speaking to Joel Apple and hearing the OxyClean story and the Orange Glow story, it really made me feel like, okay, I'm on the right path, kind of, hopefully.
I love that. Tuneishia, how about you? Who is the most impactful mentor you've talked with?
I think MP, having a meeting with MP, he is a wealth of knowledge. He listens to understand versus just to respond and say, hey, I know this or do this. It is literally to listen to you, to understand who you are and where you're looking to go, and then who to connect with, because MP understands that he is not the end all be all, like mentor for everything. Mentor in some spaces, but let me connect you to who is also gonna to help you, but where you also add value and seeing the value in you. I think MP has been the one. And then there was an individual listening to Joe Apple, of course, and then Posner Center, Joanne Posner, just her energy and just her story of how she got started. It's really, really just beautiful. So you're surrounded around these individuals who have the success that you desire, and it is on you to ask the questions or sit and listen to understand, even if you don't know what to ask, just ask them to share their story and sit and listen with the ability to understand. So then you know what to ask after that. Or just tell them, I don't even know what to ask you. What information can you give me? So you know where to start.
It's a great way to put it. I think that if you're willing to make yourself, vulnerable and say, hey, I don't know where I know I have this idea. I don't know what to do with it. What would you do if you were in my position? Sometimes that is all you need to get it started. And you can realize, oh, I actually do know how to do this, and this, but I took this away, which is what I'm going to be doing. All right. So I want to just highlight quickly a few things that are important. We have a business career center, which allows you to get further access to the business world here in Denver. Career fairs, industry shadow days, meeting with firms. They will train you on things like interviews. They'll review your resume. They'll go over salary negotiation conversations. They have internship connections as well, job search opportunities as well. Do not fail to utilize the resources that are available for you at our school. From a tuition standpoint, our current tuition rate is $750 in-state, $900 out-of-state. For international students, there's an additional $150 per semester fee. There are going to be additional fees required. I do want to just be mindful of that. I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but for students within the program, there will be some additional fees that are required for you to complete. But the estimated student tuition is between $23,000 and $30,000 capped, regardless if you're, or that's based off if you're an in-state or out-of-state student. So just be mindful of this. We do everything we can deliberately keep the tuition rates low, both in terms of the amount of credits that are required to complete the program, as well as where the tuition rates are. The goal here is to, for an affordable price, get you a master's degree that thinks like a small business MBA. From an application standpoint, there are two applications I want to just review here really quickly. So our domestic application deadline for the priority deadline just passed on October 15th, but our final deadline is at the bottom of the page here, December 15th. Very, very, very approachable application. Short answer questions, an updated resume, transcripts from all institutions where credit was awarded, no GMAT, no GRE. References are optional for this. The application fee is $50, but any of you who attended the webinar here today and send me a quick email, you'll get an application fee waiver upon submission. And then just once again, the deadlines, we just passed the priority deadline, but the final deadline is on December 15th. International students, it's the same application. There's just a couple different additional points. It's a $75 application fee rather than $50 because we are going to review your transcripts in-house. You won't have to ship them out of state. You won't have to work with them through like WES or ECE and pay $300 to $400 to get your transcripts evaluated. We do that in-house for a fraction of the cost. English language proficiency is required to prove that you're able to do this program. TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, these are all opportunities for you to complete the English language proficiency exam. The F1 student visa is an essential part of being able to come to CU Denver and complete this program that is required for all students. We are past the final deadline for spring 2025 students from an international basis. However, we will be working with students for both the summer and the fall. I'm curious, Mag and Tuneishia, is there any advice that you have on the application? Any quick thoughts that you have about the application itself?
No, it's pretty simple and like straightforward. If I would say if you are having questions about it, reach out to Brian so that he can answer those questions for you. I would say don't talk yourself out of it. If you're looking at it and it feels like overwhelming, take a moment to breathe. Know that this is for you and fill it out. Give yourself the opportunity and the chance to thrive and to learn something new.
I love that. Mag, any thoughts you have on the application?
No, I just agree. I remember it being fairly simple process. Nothing sticks out, so I think I mean, obviously, if you have the prerequisites, everything that you already need, you know, it's not anything that you guys make us jump through hoops or anything like that, which I super appreciate. Um, and yeah, like she said, you know, I definitely would encourage anybody, you know, if you guys are considering doing any business program, I think that definitely this is, in my opinion, you know, one of the best ones and more tailored to entrepreneurs specifically rather than, you know, trying to go and work for a corporation or something afterwards. So if your plan is to, you know, eventually just do your own thing, be your own boss, I definitely think that this program is tailored for people like us.
I love that. I love that. All right, just a couple more slides for you guys all out there. I just want to share some information on scholarships. So all students who are admitted to the program are eligible to receive a scholarship per entrepreneur course on an as-needed basis. You must apply. That's the as-needed basis. You must apply. You have to apply on a semester-by-semester basis. Additional scholarship options may be available. You can search CU Denver's business school on the scholarship portal, the scholarship universe, to find out about additional scholarship opportunities. Our scholarship that's available is the Mordecai Scholarship. We need your name, your ID, your current CU and transfer GPA, classes you're registering for, a short essay, and your current status, degree or non-degree. All students who are applying for our program, I encourage to complete this application once you have enrolled in the program. And then a couple quick testimonials. We've got testimonials from great students here, but how about a couple more? Joey Dykeman graduated from the MS Entrepreneurship program in spring 2024, and he said, one of my favorite aspects of the MS Entrepreneurship program is the hands-on experience you get in each class. It's not just regurgitating knowledge and following the textbook. It really feels like the instructors care about you and want to foster your development through these programs. You're able to bounce your ideas off fellow students and faculty members. Excuse me, it's a really great culture and a great place to learn. Dr. Carletta Stewart was an entrepreneurship certificate student. She said, as a founder and CEO of a nonprofit organization, I wanted to perfect my skills as a leader, learn best practices from other entrepreneurs, and share my experiences of what I've learned thus far in my journey. My instructors have taught me the good, the bad, and the ugly through their firsthand experience by providing a host of amazing guest speakers. I've learned so much from my classes. It was a priceless experience. And with that, I want to invite Mag and Tuneishia. Any final thoughts that you guys have about the program that you want to share with our wonderful audience here today?
That is an amazing program, and I look forward to speaking with you and meeting you in person. Go ahead and submit the application so that you can change the trajectory of your life in so many different ways. Just do the thing.
Perfect. I love that. Mag, how about yourself?
Yeah, not much to add. I believe I said it all, but you know, just again, I really think that it's very beneficial and practical information that you're getting, not just a bunch of things that, you know, just in case you come up, or in my opinion, of a lot of education that is just taught so that you could just graduate and then turn around and teach somebody else. And it's just a cycle of everybody teaching what they just learned. Like, this is actual people that have businesses that have gone and done great things. And as you mentioned, you know, you can't really put a dollar amount, I believe, into being like in the same rooms as the creator of OxyClean, you know, as Jake Jabs and all that type of stuff. I know real entrepreneurs, they find value in that. You know, they would say, I just want to pay for a dinner just to rub shoulders with these people. And as Tuneishia mentioned, I'm in the same level, like, well, I don't even know what to ask. I don't know how to make the best of these opportunities. So I'm glad that they are just given to us. But I believe that entrepreneurs would put a lot more value in just those things alone. You know what I mean? To me, the classes are just a small fraction. I really want to take more advantage of every single competition, every single time there's somebody speaking, something happening at the school, because as an entrepreneur, you know, that's exactly what we look for outside of the school. So being that we could get it all in one place, to me, it's super beneficial.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, and you'll be invited to different things as you get into your classes and all that. There's going to be opportunities to attend the different events. I had the opportunity to attend the Denver Business Journal Women in Business, and it was, I was blown away. Got to like sit and listen to these women in business that are doing great things and to ask them questions. if needed. And then like I'm saying, can I get your contact information? And it wasn't like, reach out to my assistant and they'll get to me. It was, here's my information. Yeah, reach out and we will be happy to answer those questions. So yes, the classes are a part of it. Just look at that as like the foundation for you to learn what you need to know in order to continue to build out your business plan, or just to build upon what you have. Then you also have the networking piece and these like events that you can participate in and get the mentorship that you need, which is not often offered in other organizations or other educational spaces. So take that on. And then again, for resources and all of that, you have Brian and his team here to provide you with the different resources for like financial aid and like all of those things. It's never a no. So
Yeah, can I
Love
make
that.
another point on that actually? And I
Please.
mentioned that about the team as well. Um, I've been to CU Denver. I got my undergrad at CU Denver, and now I'm getting my master's there. But I will tell you guys, the experience with the Jake Jab Center specifically is it's super different and tailored to us. You know what I mean? It's not, if you got to speak to an advisor, you're not going to go and stand in a long line, and, you know, you're not seeing everybody that sees everybody. Like, we always get to see the same people. I've worked with Brian for, I think this is my second year or something in the program, and you always work, you know, and they're all very good at their job. So I think that there's value to that as well. You know what I mean? Not going in there and just having to go to an office and, hey, can I just speak to an advisor? Can I speak to somebody? Like, no, you're always going to speak either with Brian or with Claire. MP, who is literally the director of it all, as she mentioned, will give us individual meetings and talk with us. So I think even though it's a very big school and we have the benefits and the resources of, you know, CU, we also have a very small team, and, you know, it's tailored to where we all know each other. Like, I know Tuneishia. They put up a quote from Joe, who graduated. You know, we had a class, like, it really feels like a very small program, even though we're part of a super big school, and the team that we have running it, you know, it's super effective. So I also wanted to bring attention to that for sure.
I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. I will keep the chat open for anyone who has questions. Louise, I see yours. I'm going to just make a quick request that you send me an email with that question. My email address is listed on the screen here, brian.brinkman@ucdenver.edu. I want to just, answer specific questions to the individual, but I want to thank Mag and Tuneishia. Thank you for carving some time out of your lives between graduate school, full-time jobs, kids, DJ gigs, you guys crafting the next great grocery store drink that will make you happy and excited and cure your ails. You guys are doing everything possible to change the world right now, and you're both very, very busy. So I appreciate you for carving out about an hour or so of your time today to chat with all of our prospective students and everyone who's been on the call. I hope that this has been a valuable time spent for you. I hope that you all apply. I hope you all schedule a call with me. And I hope you all join us here in CU Denver, in beautiful Denver, Colorado, to be a part of our program. So thank you all for your time here today. And I will look forward to speaking with you all here again soon. And with that, I'll let you all get back to your day. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and looking forward to seeing you all here shortly. Okay.